Coming up tonight, we have a lot of guests on the Daily News. Susie Kim sits down with Chobra from OGN. Our crew got to catch up with Speed Gaming, and we talked to the developer of Starbow. It's a party on the Friday edition of the Daily News. Hello from Studio 1 in Babelsberg. Dan Show reporting in for another day of exciting news in the esports industry. Tonight is January 24th, and on this day in esports history, Show wins IEM EU Championship back in 2011 for StarCraft 2. Also, in your real historical facts, in 1984, the very first Apple Macintosh was sold. Imagine playing your esports games on that. After his week-long ban from the LCS in Week 1, Rengar from League of Legends is now getting a makeover. According to the development team, Rengar's rework includes making ferocity choices more compelling and lengthening the time Rengar can fight. This includes stealth durations being increased from 7 to 10 seconds. And for Rengar exclusively, the Bone Tooth necklace has become a trinket and costs 0 gold. There's been many more modifications, but if you want to find the full list, head over to the main LeagueofLegends.com website to find all the info on the tweaks. It's a light day of League of Legends news, as we'll double back and cover LCS extensively early next week. In the meantime, tomorrow we want to remind you that we'll be watching the OG and Pandora Champions finals between SKT1K and Samsung Galaxy Ozone. Fans eagerly await to see if SK Telecom can finish the tournament with a flawless victory, or will Samsung Galaxy Ozone shock the world and show T1K's mortality. The action begins at 1700 KST on twitch.tv/OnGameNet. Now, an integral member of the OGN broadcasting team is recent interpreter superstar William Chobra. Susie got a chance to sit down and ask his thoughts on 2013 and talk about esports at home.
Hi, this is Susie Kim with ESGN TV. Today I'm sitting here with William Cho, otherwise known as Chobra. Will, so tell us a little bit about yourself and what do you do here in Korea?
I guess I'm most known for my interpreting and translating. I'm out in Korea as a freelance interpreter and caster for OnGameNet. In 2013, I also acted as kind of the creative director for the global department in OnGameNet as OGN was trying to really broaden its audience in esports.
Well, as you know, like in Korea, besides the big games that we all know of, League of Legends, StarCraft, Dota, we do have a bunch of other esports. How do you think esports is going for Korea on the whole?
It's definitely going well. It's in the positive direction. However, because it's getting bigger, as is with any media platform, the more you grow, the more attention you draw. And I think Korea is a spotlight for that, with the government now putting its eye on it, more people supporting it, but also more people going against gaming and esports as a whole. I don't think that's a bad thing. No hard decisions have been made, no barriers have been built yet for the esports industry, and I think that's fine to gain that attention. And through that, the most important part now is for the community to not kind of lash out against the government or those people against it, but just say, all right, what are the criticisms we're taking from these people? What can we improve to perhaps just say that this is what we do? Not everyone has to accept it, but this is the direction we're going to take. And we can exist, in our own community, and people can come in or leave whenever they want. I think that's fine, and I think Korea is a great starting point for that.
Do you think there's any up-and-coming rising stars that we should be on the lookout for?
At this point, it's really hard to categorize any one player as a rising star, just because people rise so fast in Korea now in League of Legends. I think I still have my eyes on Mata, and I know by now the general public has accepted that he's in the top 3 supports. What
do you think is the next step for esports? Where do you see esports going?
2013 brought a huge wave of esports globally. There was a lot of talk, there were a lot of global events, mainstream media was coming in to try to cover esports. This is all good, but that kind of brought in too much of a focus onto legitimizing esports, which I don't think we have to do that. For instance, when Brood War was going on in Korea, no one had to focus on legitimizing it. It just happened, and people liked it. Sure, there were people against it, but it didn't stop it from existing and flourishing on its own. This focus on legitimizing esports, I think, has made not just the people in the industry, but also the viewers and the audience to become too critical of themselves.
Are there any last words or final comments that you want to tell to your fans? Or
Sure. Well, thank you for having me, first of all, and to my fans across various titles, just thank you so much. I really just learned how welcoming the esports community can be.
Okay, well, thank you very, very much. And that will be all for today. This has been Susie Kim with ESGN TV.
Thanks again, Chobra, for taking a few minutes out of your busy schedule. You know, Chobra's story is very interesting in esports. He started off as a fan waiting outside of MLG's offices and eventually got picked up. From that point on, people noticed him and he started climbing out through the ladder. So really cool story, and definitely check out all of his social media. You'll see him not just in League of Legends, but also StarCraft 2 throughout the year. We're also moving on from League of Legends, but not away from Korea. Dota 2 has been officially recognized as an esport by KESPA, the Korean Esports Association. It's also been announced that the Korean Dota 2 League will be held in February. The league will consist of both professional and amateur teams, broken down into 3 tiers as determined by skill level. Teams will have the ability to move up and down tiers throughout the tournament. Tier 1 will have a prize pool of 4,600. Tier 2's prize pool will be 1,800, and Tier 3 will compete not for money, but the ability to move up and promote themselves throughout the months. Team registration begins tonight, actually, January 24th, and ends February 3rd. This is a fantastic and kind of scary news for the Dota 2 professional scene, as this could mark the ascension of yet another game dominated by Koreans. To watch all of the upcoming KESPA action for Dota 2, you can check it out at africatv.com, or you can just check out tving.com, which broadcasts every Wednesday and every Sunday. When you talk about the rising stock of teams in Dota 2, it's hard to enter a discussion without talking about the recent ascension of Speed Gaming. With their win at MLG over DK, Speed Gaming forced themselves into discussion as one of the top Western teams behind the big bullies in Alliance and Na'Vi. Our crew at ESGN TV had an opportunity to talk to members of Speed Gaming about starting up as a team and their journey of how they got to where they are today.
The reason we had a roster change at last second was that one of our players couldn't obtain a visa.
Because we're using a stand-in, and we haven't played that much together, especially because he had high school.
Okay, it was weird. It's real. He messaged me like 3 weeks before the event. I thought he was just joking around saying, we might need a ringer. I'm like, oh, okay, fine, I'll play.
We had a lot of problems getting hotels and plane tickets because we had a special manager.
It was my first LAN, biggest North American LAN besides international. But I was confident in myself at the time, so I just said, okay, let's do it.
I mean, our run at LG was sort of fairy tale-like. I mean, we had probably the worst possible circumstances going into that tournament out of any team.
I've been playing with a lot of professional players, but this is the first time I played with them on LAN.
And then our first day was something special.
The first day we played really bad.
This could be our first blood. This looks like trouble for AUI 2000. He's got no points to Shallow Grave. He gets caught out by a stun. The first blood of MLG goes to the Alliance.
Well, defending this is hard.
They try to go on Loda here, but Envy's gone in. All by his lonesome. Now he gets last, but they need a Shallow Grave. Where is it? It comes in from AUI. No, it doesn't. There's no Shallow Grave. They're gonna get the kill. Now Arteezy's likely to fall. That's 2 dead. The heal's doing nothing, and Alliance, they just hit the kill switch. And Speed Gaming looking dead on the wall.
There's no buyback for these heroes. Doom has no buyback.
I mean, Arteezy was choking. It was his first LAN, whatever, and for some reason we had both our main stage games on the first stage.
I don't know. I'll just blame like computers and stuff.
I don't think we've ever lost that hard before.
But for me, I think I was just not used to the setup and the LAN atmosphere.
But more importantly, Sing Sing and Pilot I arrived at 8 a.m. So they, after being stuck in the airport and stuff for like 40 hours and stressing over everything.
I think Pi and Sing were really just very tired because they had a rough time getting to MLG.
And they had to take the bus, and like it got really bad. Their luggage was at the airport, but they took a bus, so they had to go back and get the luggage and everything. And so they barely slept. They slept like 2 hours or whatever.
We played really, really bad as a team.
Sometimes like we can be too focused on numbers and stuff, and that might affect our play.
The attitude and the atmosphere was the biggest change, I think, from day 1 and day 2. Because in day 2, everyone just woke up happy and everything. Everyone's just fully rested, ready to go. We're like, okay, we have to win 5 games. and there was no pressure really. I don't know.
It's like, can we play this? No. Can we play this? No. All right, I guess we're doing this then, because that's the only thing we can freaking do.
Speed Gaming have made their way to the grand finals, playing with a last-minute stand-in RTZ.
It's like the ultimate Cinderella story, like you said.
To catch up multiple here, no BKB priority, Force South Gaming, Odie going ham, Burning gonna go down, and with that, BK may be out of this game.
Now, they pop the Shivas, they force that in, they drop the ult. Burning's gonna drop Rapier, hence the deck. Nobody picks it up. They don't even need the Rapier. They say, we'll kill you anyway. Now Sing Sing snagged it. He's gotten the big, bad sword for himself.
GG, Speed Gaming are your champions here at MLG.
We didn't really realize we were going to win the whole thing still, and when it happened, it was pretty surreal.
We just won, and I was getting interviewed right away, and then I just went down, and my legs were like shaking. It was just weird. The first thing I'm buying is a Gucci bucket hat.
I'm a pretty boring person. I'm going to save my money. Hopefully, I started, a nice US investment.
It's kind of more like YOLO mode here.
Okay, shout out to EG Universe. Shout out to Monolith for helping us out at MLG. You can find me on twitter.com/RTZ. Same with my Twitch.
Okay, shout out to my team Speed Gaming and our sponsors Phoenix and Raycall.
And shout out to Torn Chieftain, What Hubs, Enru N, Spirits, and whoever watches my stream and stuff, and shout out to my team.
Thanks to all the fans who have supported us.
Congrats again to Speed Gaming on their accomplishment last year, but 2014 is a new slate, and we'll see how they'll do. And I think it actually is really cool because I know AUI 2000 personally from back in StarCraft 2 days, and it's great to see him perform well in Dota 2 as well. Let's take a break. When we come back, we chat with Cable from Starbow. Susie Kim also returns with an interview with Axiom players, and later on we talk Counter-Strike Global Offensive. All this and so much more, the Daily News with Frodan. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The Desk. While StarCraft 2 competition has helped revolutionize much of esports over the last few years, many hardcore and outspoken fans still long for the days of Brood War. One fan and Team Liquid veteran Cable took on the challenge of recreating the classic game within the StarCraft 2 engine by incorporating things such as Brood War economy, pathing, and damage totals. The final product, Starbow, also mixes in some new influence so that it's not a 100% clone, but even introducing completely unique units altogether. We got the chance to talk with the Swedish modder about his ideas for the game and talk about what he has in plan for the future. I'm joined by Cable, the creator and developer of Starbow, the popular mod extension to StarCraft 2. Cable, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool, so talk to me a little bit about what Starbow is from the origins to creation. What was the intention behind creating Starbow?
It was basically a fun project. I mean, I bought StarCraft 2 like at the end of 2011, and I was like, yeah, I didn't really enjoy it that much. So I was like, yeah, I want to try and just remake it into another kind of game that I think I would enjoy a little bit more. So it was just basically me fooling around in the editor, trying to add more Brood War gameplay into it.
You have a lot of cool features inside the game, including very Brood War-esque pathing and economy, but you also introduced new elements like different abilities and even new units. What are these units and creations? What's the goal for them? Are you trying to accomplish a certain thing with the gameplay?
I mean, this is basically the main idea. I looked at the Brood War gameplay, And I was like, I started to wonder why do I enjoy playing Brood War more than I enjoyed StarCraft 2? I mean, that was like the basic question I had. And then I started to examine both games and like trying to find certain gameplay aspects that I thought was funny. And then I found a couple of things in Brood War.
Awesome, and I think it's worked out really great for you guys so far. Talk to me about some of the vision that you have for this mod. Do you eventually want to see leagues kind of pop up playing the mod? Are you trying to create, like a ranking system, kind of like IC Cup in the past? Do you have any specific things that you would like to see in the future with this mod?
I mean, to be honest, I never expected this to become this big. I mean, I've basically been working on it for 2 years, and it started as a solo project where it was just me fooling around in the editor. But as time went by, more and more people got hooked on the idea and joined me. So I mean, a lot of other community people like December's Calm, Saya, and other people you can see on the Team Liquid forum and in the credits list, they joined me on this project. It just grew. But I don't think anyone in the team expected it to become this popular. I thought we were, I mean, maybe 50, 100 people perhaps. Would you care to watch tournaments we organized just for our own amusement? But then it grew into this kind of big proportions, and I don't know what will happen then the next. I don't even dare to give a guess.
All right, well, can we talk about anything that you are developing for it? I think I was reading that you guys are trying to at least implement some kind of cool features, like a ranking system in the future. What are you currently working on for the Starbow mod to improve it?
Yeah, we are indeed looking at a ranking system. But we don't have anything settled yet, but we're looking at different options. I mean, that would probably take the mod to a whole new level, because many players have requested that they want to be ranked and they want to, aim for being #1 in some way. So that's the main thing we're looking at.
Do you have any last message, Caleb, before we let you go to the community or maybe to your development team? Any thank yous and shout outs you'd like to give?
No, I mean, obviously I have to thank everyone in the Starbow team who joined me and helped me out with a lot of aspects of the game. I mean, the mod would never have gotten this far without the support of a lot of others. And of course, it's a wonderful feeling. You log in into Battle.net and see like the chat channel being filled with, up to 100. I've spent a lot of time trying to create, and it's nice to see that kind of feedback from the community that people seem to enjoy it. So it's nice.
Thanks, Cable, for taking a few minutes of your time. Starbow is now officially free to play on the StarCraft 2 arcade. All you have to do is log on to Battle.net and go to the chat channel Starbow to find some games, or follow them on Twitter at StarbowMod. Thanks again, Cable, for joining us, and good luck in all of your updates.
Thank you.
Thanks, Starbow, for stopping by. If you want more information, you can find it at starbow.wikia.com. We look forward to seeing all the great gameplay from this awesome mod. A team pushing Starbow heavily is Axiom. Crank has been streaming lots of games on his Twitch channel, and Axiom even has announced their own in-house tournament around the mod. With all the involvement in Starbow, it seems like Crank has a lot to say about the state of StarCraft 2. In fact, Susie Kim got a chance to catch up with Crank and his teammate Ryung the other day.
Thanks, Dan. This is Susie Kim with ESGN TV. And I'm sure you guys have noticed, I'm not sitting in an arena or stadium today. In fact, today I am in a restaurant with amazing food in front of me that I can't wait to eat. So right now with me, to my right, I have Axiom Crank. And to my left, I have Axiom Ryung, and we're going to sit and enjoy this feast while having some great talk about StarCraft 2, things going on in the scene right now, and what their thoughts are on all sorts of different issues for different players. Okay, so about the Axiom Acer partnership, can you tell us a little bit about that?
일단 파트너십 자체가 GSTL을 위해 가지고 하는 거라 가지고 일단 GSTL이 끝남과 동시에 파트너십이 종료되는 거는 원래 정해져 있었던 거고요. 일단 그 후에 계획이 어떻게 될지는 모르겠고 일단은 선수들은 계속 같이 지내고 있어요.
Are you sad that GSTL is gone?
네, 근데 아무래도 마지막 대회를 우수한 것 같아가지고 약간 후회 같은 거나 이런 감정은 없는데 좀 대회가 큰 대회가 없어진 것 같아서 조금 그렇긴 해요.
Now I know last week you made it into the GSL and you're playing on the 24th. How do you feel about that?
일단은 뭐 미국에서도 작년에 미국에서 여러 번 했었는데 그때보다는 느낌이 훨씬 더 좋고 작년에 제가 한국에서 더 잘했을 때 느낌을 좀 받고 있어서 제 나름대로 대회가 기대가 되고 지금 준비도 열심히 하고 있기 때문에 성적도 충분히 좋은 성적 낼 수 있을 것 같아요.
Another question I wanted to ask was about Yoda and First and MC leaving. Well, the two leaving Incredible Miracle, and then they went to Europe. What do you think about that?
애초에 저희는 저희끼리 이렇게 듣는 얘기들이 많아가지고 조금 이렇게 될 거라고는 생각을 했는데 조금 빨리 이루어진 느낌도 들고 이게 방송이 언제 나갈지 모르겠지만 벌써 그 선수들이 유럽 예선에 떨어졌어요. 그래가지고 이건 아무리 한국 선수들이 막 그 유럽이나 북미 쪽으로 진출한다고 해도 그렇게 쉽게 성공할 수 있는 게 아니라는 걸 이번에 좀 보여준 것 같아가지고.
I wanted to ask you also about Starbow. Do you know what that is?
제가 얼마 전에 한 쇼매치 한 두 번 정도 해봤었는데 너무 재밌었고 제가 지금은 군단의 심장을 하고 있지만 그거보다 더 재밌었던 것 같고 옛날에 한 3년 전에 브로드 할 때 그 추억도 생각나는 것 같고 네, 되게 게임이 재밌었던 것 같아요.
Okay. What about you?
저는 요즘 그 개인 방송에서 그걸 하고 있어요. 그 게임을 하고 있어요. 그래서 아마도 프로 게이머 중에서는 가장 많이 그 게임을 많이 해보지 않았나 싶고요. 일단 재밌어요. 재밌고 약간 옛날 생각도 나게 하고 일단 맵 만드신 분들이 되게 노력을 많이 하셨더라고요. 그래서 아마 이게 잘하면은 뭐 하나의 또 트렌드가 되지 않을까 이렇게 생각도 해요.
Everyone out in the esports world, we're going to finish our food now. Bye.
Man, I'm hungry now. Thanks, Susie, and thank you, Crank and Ryung, for stopping by. You can follow them, their team at least, on Axiom eSports. Shout out to Total Biscuit for doing a great job doing all kinds of stuff, not just for Axiom, but for StarCraft 2 eSports on whole. Before we take a break, we have a special interview that was given to us by our crew back from their adventures last year in the Red Bull Battlegrounds. They got a chance to chat with the guys from Nvidia and talk about supporting esports. Take a look.
My name is James Grunke. I'm Director of Global Esports at Nvidia, and we're here at the Red Bull Battlegrounds tournament here at the Hammerstein Theater in New York City. We're partnering with Red Bull. We're supplying all of the technology behind the scenes to make this event the most technically advanced esports tournament. Nvidia has been active in esports for quite some time. In 2010, we did a GeForce StarCraft 2 Pro-Am. We invited 72 of the world's top pros. And it was a Pro-Am, so we opened it up an AM division for North America only. We had no idea what would happen, and what happened was the demand was so strong they brought our servers down. And our intention with esports is simple and transparent. We embrace, celebrate, and grow the esports community. We're on the stage, they're running on our equipment. That's what's important to us. And by doing that, it's just like any race car driver demanding a certain product for his car, or any sprinter demanding a certain shoe, right? These guys are fantastic. It's amazing to watch. They're all fine gentlemen, extremely intelligent. Yeah, these guys deserve the respect of the U.S. government for visas for athletes. Physically, they're amazing. And when you look at the actions per minute or APM that these guys are capable of doing, we're not sprinting, racing, right? You're playing a video game that has a three-dimensional aspect of performance, physical, mental. We provide the tools that they use to execute their performance, and we take that really seriously. Everything from the GPUs to now the monitors. Our intention is to build technology to make that performance as high as humanly possible for these guys to perform. G-Sync allows the GPU to drive the refresh rate instead of vice versa with the monitor at a fixed refresh rate. And the impact that's going to have on esports and competitive gaming is significant. It gives the user a much faster, cleaner, smoother gaming experience. And that's important to us because esports, their fans and players are our best customers. They drive the demand been big in Korea for a long time. It's big in China. It's big in Russia. It's really not as well known in North America, but we're coming on board. And the response we've been getting from the players regarding the PCs as well as G-Sync has been fantastic. My name is James Grunke. I'm Director of Global Esports for Nvidia Corporation, and you are watching ESGN.
Thanks again, James, and can't wait to see what Nvidia will do next in esports. Check out all their updates at nvidia.com. Coming up next, we check in with CSGO in ESCA. Also, we see what's happening in the world of Tank's realm of esports. The Friday edition of the Daily News returns right after this. Welcome back to the Daily News. In Counter-Strike news, Clan Mystic has announced that they are making a roster change. Last year's ESWC champions is looking to retool after their disappointing finish to the year, losing to very games in the EPS France Grand Finals. Gordon SF Geary, who has been inactive since his former LDLC.com team disbanded, will be replacing Jeremy Iorek Villamame. The roster now stands as Hearts, Kiyoshima, KQ Lai, Apex, and SF. Good luck to the new CM, and maybe this change will bring more consistency to the French team in 2014. Clan Mystic weren't the only ones to have a change in scenery. Playing Ducks announced both IDDQ and Freestyle will be replaced by Toby, who will be shot calling, and former member Tabsen. The team now consists of Kirby, Get, Whoopi, Tabsen, and Toby, looks to improve upon their top 4 in the last EPS Germany after dropping their semi-final series against Enro Griffins. Now moving on to tournament news, the first information about the Assembly Winter 2014 has surfaced. They will feature a Counter-Strike Go tournament prize with €5,000. The event will start with 31st of January through February 1st. The Helsinki Exhibition and Convention Center in Finland will host the event. 8 European teams have been confirmed and sorted into 2 groups featuring famous teams like H2K and Natu's NC Esports. All games will be covered by 2 official streams in Finnish and Russian. Apart from that, the public Go TV will be available and everyone is free to stream and commentate the event. Now, another great event is taking place this month. ESEA is hosting a promo cup, which will grant all participants free access to ESEA premium features and compete for a free membership. So, if you and your team wish to try out for the pugs, scrims, or some of the other features, this is your chance. The cup is free to enter with a max participant number of 32 teams. Registration is still open until Saturday, 15:45. 15 minutes afterwards, the event will start with the regular ESEA League map rotation. More info can be found at esea.net. Moving on to the last scene stop for today, Wargaming just announced World of Tanks hit 1.1 million concurrent users. They sat 4th in the recent release of top grossing free-to-play games at $372 million behind Crossfire, League of Legends, and Dungeon Fire. With the increased user base and development around their esports scene with the Wargaming.net leagues, Wargaming has definitely a bright future, especially with the War Finals that will be happening in Poland later this year. The Tanks Asia Masters Season 2 finals are also taking place today, with the semifinal and grand final happening tomorrow. In the semifinal PvP, Super Friends are facing off against Team Efficiency. Now, they already qualified for the finals last winter seasons, but now they are facing off against Insidious Gaming. They are hungry and waiting to prove that they are the best in Korea. Make sure to tune in at www.gomtv.net/TanksAsia, where you can find all the information. Before we let you go, we want to remind you on our segment every Friday called This Weekend on Twitch. Beginning things, we want to talk about the StarCraft 2 things, including the Zotac Cup that's going to be happening tomorrow, the last one thereof, as well as the Wearer.com Invitational casted by Letold and Rotterdam. Over in Dota 2, there's also the CIS Carnage 2014 that's going to be happening for back-to-back at 6 p.m. CET. And over in League of Legends, we have the NALCS that'll be going on all weekend, including a cool highlight match between CLG and TSM. Don't forget that next week will also be Fight Night Street Fighter Edition, casted by Gutex and Tasteless, featuring players like Mike Ross, World Champion Cian, and Infiltration. It's going to be a good time. That's a wrap for this week of the Daily News. If you missed part of the show, make sure to log on to ESGNTV.com to catch up and see our upcoming broadcasts. Also, if you have any news you want to share, send us an email at news@ESGNTV.com. From Dan Cho and the rest of the crew here at Studio One, have a good weekend. Fight Night is coming up next.